else. So you're at a crossroads right now. Okay, you want to hear it or not. You're a middle-aged man. Okay, you're not going to wrestle anymore, but you have the option of reffing still. But at the same time, you're helping. You're still trying to support your family and put food on the table. So you got to balance that happy point. It's like, is it still making you happy, or is it stomping the shit out of you?
Well, every time I step in the building, it's always a adrenaline where my heart and my face just comes out with a smile, because basically I'm there to put a smile on a kid, to make that adult, cheer, clap, curse, whatever
it is. I mean, we've seen you. I've seen you at some angry moments. The last show I was at, you're a little pissed off about the certain situation of the rundown of how you used, which I can understand. You've been with the company for a long time, and you get some people that disappear for a little while, and then they come back, or they're not there because they're booked for another show. But you're the loyal guy. You're always there.
Yeah.
Every time that phone, like Ryan, every time that phone rings, you pick it up. Oh, you need me? Okay, fine. I just drop in everything and I'm going.
So you got to understand, the promoter cannot do everything by himself. Everybody needs an assistant. I don't care. There's no kissing ass with Sergeant Jimmy Storm. Plain and simple. The promoter needs a helping hand, whether you like it or not. If you don't understand that, then you need to go back to wherever and learn about professional wrestling, or promoting, or doing whatever you need to do about professional wrestling. That promoter needs that help, and that's where I step in. Plain and simple.
Okay, give us. I just want to in perspective, give us a situation where you might have had to go a little bit outside the boundaries of being a referee at a wrestling event. Maybe people didn't get to see it. Maybe it was something you had to handle behind the curtain that referees normally wouldn't even get involved in.
Well, basically, I tell you, I'll give you a day where I show up. Sometimes, usually, I believe it's the first 14 years, I was showing up at buildings at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes at 12 noon. And then the next thing you know, the promoter's there, he's getting frustrated. And the next thing you know, I'm talking to him, and I would smooth things out, get him back on track. And I say, listen, I got this, no problem. I'm the guy that will set up those chairs. I will make that arena the way it should look. When the ring gets there, I'm always helping out with the ring. If something happens with the ring, matter of fact, here's the greatest thing that I've learned in this past week was May 17th is Skate and Surf. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you something.
That was with Asbury Park, New Jersey, with Jersey Championship Wrestling.
Yes.
Are you talking about the Scott Hall situation?
No.
That was another situation.
This was where we had the ring, just something happened with the top rope and it snapped. Basically, somebody came in the back and got me, says, Jim, listen, hey, the top rope broke. Switch out the ropes. And I immediately turned around, looked at the ring, I'm like, got it, no problem, taken care of. I'm looking over at Jake the Snake Roberts, and let me tell you something. Fans, this guy, I was just listening to Kevin when he opened his radio show. This guy is turning 61 years old. Without a shadow of a doubt, instincts, don't care. He was asked, I think, twice to go in the back, and he wouldn't do it. He was helping me out with the ring with a couple other guys. And I looked over and I seen Jake trying to help out fixing that ring. It just made my heart so much bigger, so much happier. It's just like, this guy's a Hall of Famer. Yep. What's he doing out there?
Yep. He's a paid talent.
I mean,
he did need to be doing that. I mean, he could have sat in the back, relaxed,
That's what a lot of
bills.
That's where a lot of wrestlers don't understand. You get guys out there like Jake Roberts. He's been teaching this wrestling business for years, and every word he said, basically, I take pride in. whether you don't know me or know me, I go home and I think about what he said. And let me tell you something. Like I said, he was out there fixing that ring right along with us. No doubt about it. And basically, twice he was asked, and he just looked at him and started laughing. And so that made me work a little bit harder. And I just look in the back, and these guys, I don't know, man. I don't know. But
bottom line is, some of these guys should have stepped up and took care of the ring situation, considering that JCW is, and any other Jersey promotion, they're there for independent wrestlers. Yeah, these mainstream guys come in, they come and go. They're brought in, puts a couple extra asses in the seats, sign some autographs, but they're there for that. They're not there for ring maintenance. They're not there for postering. They're not there for breaking down and setting up the ring, loading the truck, stuff like that. This is what the indie guys are supposed to be doing. So when you got a WWE Hall of Famer, 60 plus years old, out there busting his ass to get the ring together, and you got some of these indie guys sitting in the back while this is going on, that's where you feel that the disrespect comes into effect.
A lot of people don't understand where I come across this way. And like I've said, they're going to say, hey, Jim, that was wrong for what you said. But you know what? That's how I feel.
I don't think it's wrong at all. I mean, and we're not going to call nobody out. But, if wrestler A and B are sitting there having a conversation of where they're going for dinner after the event is over, and Jake the Snake's out there fixing the ring to get it ready so wrestler A and B can wrestle later that night, there's a problem there.
Yes, sir.
Wrestler A and B should be out there fixing the ring, while Jake the Snake is sitting back in the back relaxing at 61 years old, getting ready for his match, so he's there to make wrestler A and B look good.
Here's another one for you, another example. I've gone to Wildwood WWE shows. I've gone to, where was it, down in Delaware sometimes, and I've been to Atlantic City, WWE comes into. And I always thought that WWE had a ring crew. And I never even knew, when the truck pulls up, they have security that works security that night, build a ring. And I look around and I'm like, wait a minute, at the end of the show, and I stick around sometimes, and I see Charles Robinson, the referee. It's been in that company for, 20 years?
More than that, he was with the WCW.
There you go. I mean, he's in the ring.
Little Nate.
Little Nate, right. He's in the ring taking it down. And I stopped him. I'm like, I know security was asking me to leave, but I says, you know what? I got to ask this guy. I asked him, I says, Charles, I work in the business too, but independent-wise. He says, yeah, ask me anything you want. He says, I asked him, I says, why do you break down the ring? And basically he says, it's my job.
Well, if you think about it, it does make sense. You have Monday Night Raw and we'll say Atlantic City. It's never been there, but we'll just say Monday Night Raw in Atlantic City. Okay, you got a crew that's there in Atlantic City waiting for that truck to show up. Guys are there, guys hop off the truck, they all get that ring together.
Right.
There's no way they're going to be able to pack that ring up that night and be there for the taping of SmackDown on Tuesday in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Just not going to happen. So they got another truck going to the Barclays Center with another crew on there and a crew waiting at Barclays Center to put that ring together. Oh, so man. That's why, everybody wants to say that Vince McMahon's lost touch with the public on wrestling and blah blah blah. But the guy hasn't lost touch on money.
No.
I mean, if you was to hire a crew on every truck, it'd make no money.
Right.
So
That's true.
I understand it. I mean, I don't expect to see like Earl Hebner breaking down the ring at his age, but I understand it, and and you see it. Like if you stick around some of the, especially the pay-per-views, you stick around as the show's over, and you kind of slowly walk out of the arena, taking your sweet ass time. You'll see them breaking it down, and you'll see guys coming out still in their zebra shirts, and you'll see guys still they're coming out. They literally just take their blazer off and they're in a shirt and suit pants, and they're breaking down the ring, and I've seen guys like Pat Patterson rolling up the ring canvas with other guys. You know, yeah, I've seen it. I've been watching a lot, like back, especially in the 80s and 90s. There was a lot of wrestling in Staten Island, back to college, back to high school, and you used to see guys back then, wrestlers and otherwise. Everybody would leave. That's why, you know, before the internet, you know, when kayfabe was at its highest, because there was no camera phones, there was no, you know, would you have a Polaroid? No, that was it.
Yeah,
you can't really catch much with a Polaroid.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to be really close to get a good picture with a Polaroid. So there was no camera phones, there was no Twitter, no Facebook, no MySpace, none of that crap. Okay, so kayfabe was great. The only thing you had was WWE Magazine, the Wrestler, PWI, which was all month late. You know, they were all a month behind. You had the on Friday mornings in the Daily News. You had the Slammer.
Right, and I was reading that too.
So, I mean, that was it. I mean, that's all you had. So, you know, now you can't do crap like that because, you know, you can't have The Rock helping breaking down ring crew because, you know, people were there with their camera phones taking a picture of The Rock standing next to Rusev, you know, taking the ring down.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
true.
going to happen no more. It just,
psychology, yeah.
So now they got to go with, you know, the ring guys, security, Mercury and Noble. You bet your ass those guys are helping breaking down the ring. You know, I don't want to say because they're J&J security, but I guarantee those guys are breaking down the ring. Or they're loading the truck, or they're rolling carpet. They're doing something. You know, they're not riding on. They're not on the bus with Seth Rollins on the way to the next event yet. Those are the guys that show up.
True.
They show up later. Let's put it this way. they show up later when they're because they're not marquee guys. They're not guys that you're gonna that you're looking forward to seeing on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. You know, people want to see Seth Rollins. And I know people who are huge Seth Rollins fans. Yeah, Nick, huge Seth Rollins fan.
Yep, huge. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's out of his mind. But at the same time, how much are you tired of the whole J&J Security Act?
You know what? I am tired of it, but I see its place right now. It's definitely won't come close to running its course, but agree. I'd rather see Seth Rollins wrestle than see Noble and Mercury get their butt kicked. You know, I mean,
I want to see Noble and Mercury wrestle. Let's bring back the cruiserweight division. You have enough guys of that size let's get this going again. I mean, if they would have started this 5-6 years ago, Daniel Bryan would have a lot less injuries right now.
Yep.
Good point.
Okay.
Good point.
Daniel Bryan, everybody's like, oh no, he still would have been doing his high flying and his drop kick. Yeah, but he would have been drop kicking a 180-pound, 205-pound guy, not a 300-pound cane. There's a big difference. You know, when you're trying to drop kick a wall and trying to drop kick a pillar. There's a big resistance difference between the two. And, you know, people don't understand that. You know, maybe CM Punk's still around if there's in a middleweight division. Because let's put it this way, the competition would have been a hell of a lot better. And it would have been a lot more believable. Yeah. I mean, CM Punk held that belt for 900 days, and he beat everybody. I mean, everybody. Hall of Famers, 300-pound guys. Is it believable that CM Punk is going to be a 300? That's why if he would have beat the Undertaker, I definitely would have never watched wrestling again. And I'm not even a fan of the Undertaker or the Streak. But it's the Undertaker, bro. He's 7 foot, 300 pounds. The Undertaker. CM Punk's gonna beat him.
Believability factor.
It's not believable.
Exactly.
You know, he beat Lesnar too, didn't he?
Once.
Yeah, he did.
Is that believable? After what Lesnar did to Cena?
No, it's not.
Is that believable?
No.
He threw Cena around like a doll, and yet he couldn't throw CM Punk, who's half the weight of Cena. He should have broke his neck. It's just not believable. So you bring back the cruiserweight division, and you have all these 160 to 210 pound guys wrestling each other.
Right.
Now it's believable.
Yep.
It makes sense.
And it gives credibility to the Intercontinental Championship because now you got that gap. You got your 205 plus pound guys
Right.
Now the Intercontinental Championship has meaning. And then you leave that heavyweight belt for the heavyweight guys.
It's true.
The immortal guys, the guys who are